We're here at Château la Louvière in Pessac-Léognan, owned by André Lourton, who's now actually the largest landowner in all of Bordeaux. Well, he got off to a bit of a rough start back in 1956 when he took control of the property because there was a terrible frost that year. In fact, temperatures dropped down to -28, which is unheard of in the region. And he woke up the next morning and guess what? All the vines were dead. So, nice start. Anyway, to make ends meet, he actually started selling cereals, grains and vegetables. And with a bit of the cash flow that he generated from that, he built the estate back up, replanted the vines, and subsequently started building an empire in Bordeaux. He owned several chateaux, including Château Bonnet, which produces a huge amount of wine, and various others in the Pessac-Léognan district. Highly regarded here. He's an innovator. For example, he's one of the first to use screw caps in the region, which is very controversial, of course, in France, where everybody prefers wine be sealed with a cork. Traditionalist, to say the least. And also, he's been very outspoken about the primeur system, which is the sale of wine on futures. How this works is quite interesting. Essentially, 6 months after the harvest, chateaux present wines to the press for review. But André Lourton said, well, after 6 months, the wines aren't even the final blend, they're not ready for drinking, and so how can they be presented to the market and accurately rated when it's just a couple of samples from a production of maybe 15,000 cases?
So there's always a bit of a question mark as to just how representative the samples actually are of the entire production when they're submitted to the primeur tastings. Anyway, enough controversy for one day. So what about the quality of the wines at La Louvière?
La Louvière is well known for their red wines, but the white wines are fantastic too. They're made from Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc, aged in oak casks, not to give a big toasty vanilla flavor, but actually it's the oak that allows air through the pores, the microscopic pores. That gives the wine the ability to breathe and develop all these complex flavors and aromas. Staggering. But what's really interesting about Bordeaux whites, and particularly from La Louvière, is their ageability. So when I'm looking at a wine list, and I typically see a white wine that's maybe 8-10 years old from most regions around the world, I think, well, probably past its best, it's tired, it should have been drunk a long time ago. But no, from here, these wines just start to hit their stride around that time. And they'll go on for another, 15, 20 years in some cases from a good vintage. Absolutely spectacular. They develop all of this richness and this depth. You can't taste the great varieties distinctly. It's not about making a Sauvignon Blanc or a Semillon or a blend. It's about making Château la Louvière.